Hi everyone and welcome back to this JavaScript series. And in this new lecture, we are going to know about document. What is document in JavaScript? Document एक बहुत important concept है, key core most important concept you wanted to know and you need to know in JavaScript. So for demonstration purposes, let's console.log what is document and just copy the path. And then in your browser, you path inspect console, and if you click this, you can see what is the exactly the document is. So here you can see that आपका जो document है वो और कुछ नहीं HTML का ही डेटा है, but in a objective view, like एक object की तरह behave कर रहा है. So that means आपका यहाँ पे जो भी कंटेंट ऐड होता है HTML में उसको हम बोलते हैं DOM. So ये मैं कमेंट्स में लिख दूंगा in HTML JavaScript consider your page as DOM. DOM stands for Document Object Model. That means all of your HTML code is a document and is treated like an object. So I hope you understand these three lines. Now, if you see over here, you get this title, head, and also even you add more data to it, like let me say an object like this. And if I add one h1 tag and say hello world, this will also be considered inside your DOM. You can see it like this element. So now in JavaScript, we know what is DOM. Now your DOM has exactly some key core functions. DOM functions like get element by ID, get element by class name, like this. Suppose in projects and in companies, most commonly two functions are used over DOM. That's it, get element by class name and get element by ID. Now what are these? Suppose I'm having a button here which says click me like this, and this button shares an ID which is btn click button ID. Now if I make one variable with const button is equal to document, which we learned that we need to grab something from the document. That's the document dot, and you get bunch of, most probably many functions are there, but in this video I will be showing only two functions, how to use getElementById and getElementByClassName, and we'll cover in another videos and in another projects how to use most of them. Now if I use getElementById and pass the ID and then console.log that button, let's see what we get. If I hit reload, you see we get button HTML element itself. Now, once you have that element, you can perform some really cool actions over it. For example, button, if you put dot operator, you again get some of the cool functions which you can perform over that. Among all of those, the most famous and the most important thing could be to add event listening. Like we want to listen to events on this function. Now, what is add event listener? So, add event listener is a function which helps to add some events checking over an HTML element. That means जब आपका इवेंट्स जो भी आपके इवेंट्स होते हैं, माउस क्लिक हो गया, कीबोर्ड डाउन प्रेस हो गया, या फिर कीबोर्ड का कोई बटन प्रेस हो गया, माउस का होवर हो गया, माउस को इस तरीके से मूव करना हो गया हेयर एंड देयर ओवर योर स्क्रीन, एंड माउस का राइट क्लिक, लेफ्ट क्लिक, डबल क्लिक, ये सब तरीके के जो भी इवेंट्स है आपके, जब ये फायर होते हैं तो आप वो इवेंट्स को बता सके कि मैं इस HTML एलिमेंट पे वो इवेंट को ऐड करना चाहता हूँ, एंड जब यूजर वो वाला इवेंट परफॉर्म करेगा देन जो आउटपुट आएगा वो मुझे कैप्चर करना है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई विल यूज एड इवेंट लिस्नर, and when you hover over this function like this, you see append an event listener for events whose type attribute value is type. The callback argument set the callback that will invoke when the event is dispatched. That means आप इसके ऊपर सबसे पहला आर्ग्यूमेंट बताते हैं कि आपको क्या करना है, एंड जैसे ही आपने ये करा विजुअल स्टूडियो कोड आपको कब बहुत सारे अलग अलग तरीके की इवेंट्स बताएगा कि आप उस पर क्या क्या लगा सकते हैं. Like there is transition, run, touch start, touch move, reset, or mouse down, mouse enter, mouse leave, focus, drag. हम यूज करने वाले क्लिक. इसके अंदर पास करने के लिए हम एक फंक्शन बनाएंगे, फंक्शन चेक इफ बटन वॉज क्लिक्ड. मैंने एक फंक्शन बनाया एंड इसमें मैं करवाऊंगा console.log. Yes, you clicked the button like this. एंड इधर आप पॉइंटर पास करते हैं उस फंक्शन का जो कि इस पे क्लिक हो, इस बटन पे जब भी जो इवेंट परफॉर्म होएगा तो ये फंक्शन ऑटोमेटिकली कॉल हो जाएगा. यू नेवर पास दिस लाइक दिस, यू नेवर कॉल दिस फंक्शन इनसाइड दिस, यू जस्ट पास प्योर पॉइंटर इनसाइड दिस. Now I hit save and reload my site and I click. You see, yes, you click the button. But what happens if you call it here? Then, without clicking, this will get called C. So just pass pointer over here. Now I told you that you also have getElementByClassName. You can do it by if you switch this ID to class, and here you get this function getElementByClassName. You hit save. Wait, getElementByClassName. This is the function. Just replace this. Reload. Class button click. Button click is the class. Get element. And let's hit save. And then you can perform button dot. Now you can't perform add event listener to it. You can use items. You can use button dot, let's say, length. You can use all these things. And to perform this, let's do one thing. Console.log. And now let's check what happens. You see, on items, it's a native code. That means आपका जो ये HTML element है, इसके अंदर आपका ये चीज आ रही है items में. And यहाँ पे है dot length. तो हमको इसकी length मिल रही है. बटन एक है. There is only one count. That's why we are getting the length. But in order to use the event listener, you need the ID. And after having the ID, you need to add the event listener to it. And when you hit reload, check if button was clicked, click, get element by ID, and over here, ID, reload, click, and yeah, this works. So this was pretty much it in the intro to document. What is document in JavaScript? And in the further videos, we'll continue into the more advanced concepts, key core concepts of document. I hope you understood what can we do with getElementById, getElementByClassName, and what is addEventListner. There are also a couple more events, like I say button dot add event listener, mouse over. Let's use mouse over, and I will be using console.log. You moved mouse over. This save, reload, and as soon as I move mouse over, you see. Wait, let me shift this to a function. Callback function is hit save, reload. You see, I'm not clicking those, just my mouse goes over and it gets print in the console. So this is some really cool things in JavaScript where you can add events and then listen to it or perform some logic inside this curly braces. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it useful, do click like button, comment down in the section below if you need something else, and do share my video, subscribe to my channel, and I will be back in the next video. Thank you.